This is where your ice cream comes from. The creamy poop of a missing unicorn.
I've been running ads since 2014, spent over $80 million, and developed a system how we test ads. The main point was, when I was developing an agency, I had to develop a mechanism how to get people to push out the same amount or same quality of creatives as I did, but while having a fraction of my experience. Because of that, we've developed our playbook, how we develop ads and how we launch and how we test. And I'm gonna give a part of it away in this video here. For the sake of simplicity, I like to divide all the ads into 3 different functions. The first function is going to be grabbing attention. So that person never saw you, never heard of you, but that what you show them is good enough to stop them from scrolling, stop them from liking their cat videos and looking at their family pictures, and actually give you some time to get to know you. So that's basically your first introduction line. Second is going to be a heat up line, basically showing them additional information regarding what your product is, what you're all about, how they can use you, how their life will change, and you're also going to add a lot of objection countering. The third line is going to be the close line, where you push for the sale. And you have a lot of different options there, from testimonials to dynamic product ads to basic standard remarketing ads. So a lot of different options. But we're not going to go into the last 2 today. We're just going to focus on the first line. For the first line of the ads, it's really important for us to get a high click-through rate and high engagement rate, because that's going to be the most important part. Often enough, I see campaigns that are cold prospecting and they're compared by ROAS to remarketing and other campaigns. The main point is, this is not about the sale. Is to get as many people as possible into the funnel. If you like this video, we'll make sure to make more videos like this and fill out additional segments. We have a lot of other strategies. In this video, we will just show you 3. We in our playbook have about 35 different types of ads that we run and test out.
It's a big book, plenty to choose from.
The point of the playbook is for the media buyer to be able to communicate quickly what he needs from the design team, so they can push out really high quality ads. Or it doesn't need to be high quality, but it needs to hit the nail on the head. It needs to do its function. So in this video, we'll focus on ads that are going to grab attention, that are going to pull people in, but maybe they won't convert right away. For the rest of it, you're going to have to wait for the next video. Now, for those of you that stay until the end, I'm going to have an additional bonus where I'm going to explain that if you run these 3 types of ads, how I would run them, you're going to actually have a good understanding of what framing you need to use and what voice you need to use when portraying your product in front of your audience. I'm going to start off with an ad called Big Promise. It's a typical prospecting ad. But the reason why I like to run this is because if you look at your best or biggest benefit that you can give to your customers and you amplify that and push it through, if it gives you results, it means that your product has market viability. If it doesn't give you results, it means that you don't understand something about your audience. And if you have a big problem with understanding your audience, then you need to understand how to make a better product market fit. So that's why I tend to run this ad as one of the first ads we run in an account. So in this case, we have an ad from Bear Performance Nutrition. It's probably an old ad. I pulled it out of our playbook, so the ads are probably a couple of years old. And it says, prepare for the best workout of your life. And all gym heads want to try more supplements, stronger supplements, more effective supplements. So because of that, we had a high expectation this ad is going to give decent results. This ad can also be used for remarketing. It doesn't need to be prospecting, but it's a good explanation of what you're pointing out to. So the biggest benefit that your product has, we claim that this supplement is going to be the strongest pre-workout you ever tried, something like that. That's going to be enough for people to say, okay, let me check out, let me understand, let me learn more. The whole point of this first line is for them to learn more.
I would like you to tell me more about this product.
Now, the next ad is going to be the same thing with the big promise, but the big twist is it's going to be towards a negative. So if you look at the bottom or the headline of the ad, it says 80% of dogs can be saved. So that's already a really scary information for the person on the other side if they're a dog owner. Of course, we understand in this situation, the person will be quite motivated by this. But in other situations where you have a product that we are not that sure if this is going to be something that's going to make a person act, it's a really good angle to test out. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that this is done really well as an ad, mainly because it has a couple of big elements. It has a couple of circles pointing out to things, so you have what to anchor your eye, and then as well they added a couple of different emojis, especially for things that are not that businessy, so it's not a business to business offer. You can add a little bit of emotion, you can add a little bit of emojis into your ads. And then the last ad is going to be for a completely different type of product or service. It's going to be a conference ad. And I just wanted to show you this. These guys have also been running ads for years now. And if they run ads like this, where they have a big promise, it makes sense that you should test them out as well. So these are just some of the examples of the big benefit. You just need to figure out what you're going to push towards forward. So if your product solves a big issue for the person, either in time or in just stress, you should push that. So like a day without stress or something like that could be a thing that they're going to react towards. Now, almost every one of you that ran ever an ad tested a pain point ad, but most of the time people understand what they need to do, but they bungle the execution. So this is a really good example, and I think that the Harmon brothers that run a lot of the creatives and did the first idea for this product, the Squatty Potty, I think these guys are a genius, and there's a lot that you can learn, especially if you're a novice media buyer. So if you check out this product, it's a couple of different things at the same time. It's shocking at first because you have somebody sitting on a toilet. At the other side, they're pointing out and calling out the problem quite directly. So anyone that has this bowel problem is gonna understand and is gonna see it and is gonna react. And then the biggest point is that you right away understand what you're being sold. So if you have a problem and you click or react on this ad, there's a high chance that you just need a little bit of push to make the final decision to pull out your credit card. I really want to show you why I love these guys. These guys are masters at captivating attention and doing really weird stuff and making it work. As you can see right away, the person is sitting on a toilet having a problem. The person stands up, and a small thing that I love is that they didn't flush. So that's an agitation. That's another thing that a person with that problem will notice, but anyone else won't. The Harmon brothers are geniuses when it comes to showing the problem in a creative way. And that's basically how they hook you in. That's how they call you out without actually calling you out. Then the next step is she stands up and gets scared by her friend. A big agitation, a big moment where everything changes, and it's a moment that actually makes you watch the video. And that's the moment when she starts reeling you in and talking about the product, because that's actually when you're hooked. And that's the moment you're open to hearing about the product benefits. So this agitation was, the video was going slow, calm and steady, and then boom, a lot of activities. From that moment, they go on a boat ride, as you see, and the weirder the stuff gets, the better it's gonna be, because you're gonna remember this. It's not another ad of somebody just looking perfect and everything's perfect and you just forget because you saw 100 perfect ads that day. This is a crazy ad. So the next stage is dumbing down the problem as much as they can. So that's the reason why they're moving into the Stone Ages and showing Neanderthals and everything else. That's how they make the link between your problem and a natural solution. And then they go into the science of how it works and stuff like that. So I want to show you a couple of shorter videos now that last only 15 seconds. So these 15-second ads are mostly used in remarketing as a second layer. The main point is they show a person again with the problem. She's lighting a candle, she's eating a lot of fibers. So the main point of this is again to remind the person that the solution exists. The reason why they're running only 15 seconds and shorter is because they don't want to go into explaining again the product. Because they're not explaining again the product, that's how I deducted that it's a remarketing campaign. If you don't have the prospecting ad that does the introduction, the remarketing campaign doesn't make any sense. Now, ad creation is something that I really enjoy and love. And if you want to learn more, these guys are named Harmon Brothers and they kick ass. And my suggestion is just go to their website, go and look at their clients and go and find the video of the unicorn that poops rainbows.
This is where your ice cream comes from. The creamy poop of a mystic unicorn. They're good at pooping.
Again, another crazy story, but basically they're gonna teach you through ads like that on how to captivate attention and as well as how to be memorable, because a lot of people are decent in captivating attention, but then they're really hard at getting remembered. Now, the next brand that we're looking at is going to be Woofs. Woofs is a pet brand that focuses on dogs that have issues with hips and joint pain and stuff like that. So when they ran ads, they had a lot of different options to go for, but one of the most potent ads they ran is a before and after ad that you can see on the screen right now. You can see how they added a lot of subtle touches to the ad. So you can see how the left side of the ad is more black and white, while the right side is the healthy side, so it's green, full of saturation. So the main point of a before and after ad through a pain point like this is to show the current state that you're in as a really bad and negative state, and then you can show the other side of the person being happy, enjoying their day, and everything's beautiful. You have a lot of examples of infomercial ads where a person is cutting an onion and they make it look like it's the hardest and the worst thing in the world.
Crying cutting onions? No way. There's only one way to stop onion cutting tears, with the Onion Bully.
that's showing the pain points. So checking out those old infomercials is going to give you a good idea on how to position a pain point and how to agitate it as much as you can. And then the last one that I added, just so you can see how you can visually show something through just the benefit. So you can see this couple sleeping, one side is hot, the other side isn't, because of the product. Super simple, yet quite effective. When you see an ad like this, you can then be remarketed through a lot of different options. For example, the price, if it's low on stock, and then on top of it, you can also go with explaining the technology, if there's any additional benefit to it. Maybe you can add some general information regarding how well you function or how better your life is if you sleep a bit longer. The next ad category is going to be shock. The main reason why we run shock ads is so we are 100% sure we get the person's attention.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
I love running these ads because if you get them right, they're going to be a really good and long-lasting top of funnel. But often enough, people are going to get kind of confused if the ROAS is good or not. You really have to get decent at tracking for you to understand what is the full benefit of your prospecting ads, because the ads I'm going to show you are not going to make people buy, but they're going to make them click. So then we need to transition them into buying later. The first ad we're looking at is a disgusting ad from Pori. I'm probably butchering the name, but the point is somebody smelling a foot. The reason why you're going to put an ad like that is because nobody else is going to put an ad like that.
Who would do such a thing?
Often when we work with brands, the business owners tend to fight us on this and say that they don't want to show the brand in a light like this and everything. But most of the time when you're running ads, especially for smaller brands, they don't really have anything to lose. So testing things like this is going to put you in a really good advantage. It's going to give you a competitive edge, and I really suggest that you dig in deep how you can show your product or service in a way that shocks the person. So if you're removing odor like these guys are, then smelling a foot is going to be the way to go. We ran ads for another company called My Carpe, and they were helping people with excessive sweating. So what we ended up doing is we just took a lot of user-generated videos of people making fun of it, where they just took a lot of their sweat and just smacked it on a wall or something else. And then they showed the after option where you don't have anything to actually throw off of your hand. The next ad I like to test is also combining a relevant event. So you see that we have elections now coming, and this is an ad I think from past elections. So Traffic and Funnels tends to run ads that are really good, and you should really watch out for them. The main point is that anytime you have something like Halloween, elections, or a really big significant thing happening, you can then try adding your ad in the context of it, and because of that, you're gonna have a really high chance of people reacting positively to it. The biggest downside of an ad like this is gonna be that it's gonna get outdated really fast. So you should run it only while it's active, and then you should have either a quarterly or a monthly push towards having something like this. Now, the next ad is going to be an intrigue ad. Again, it's still in the shock category, but the specific ad I'm showing shows a thumbnail of a person burning a $100 bill. This is an ad from Sabri Subi. You should check out his ads library. A lot of good ads there. He's really good at actually capturing attention, and I've learned quite a lot from him. I actually use quite a lot of his ads as templates to show people how to build your own ads and just to give context on how it's done properly. So because this person is burning a $100 bill, you're going to click to see what happened, and because of this, you're going to have a high click-through rate. So your next focus should be at how I'm going to hook them in to watch the rest of the video, and we already mentioned at the start agitation and how you should use that. Before we go any further, please drop us a like on this video if you learned anything. If you have any ideas of what you would like to learn next from us, please write it in the comment section. And of course, if you want to learn digital advertising without the bullshit, subscribe. Now, this line of ads I really love to do because it's really an interesting scenario where you really don't know what's going to work. First, I'm going to start off with like a news ad. The main point is make it look like news. You also have a lot of different examples where people take out a lot of different magazine cutouts or make their ads look like billboards. There's a lot of different options how you can do the same thing, but the whole point is make it look like something it isn't in a format that's usually not the type of advertisement. You can easily go into Canva or Figma and build something like this in 15 minutes, and I'm going to give you a couple of different examples while I talk further. So you can see that Sabri here used a news anchor ad. It looks like he's on TV and talking to a news anchor. So you can imagine that the average user is not really going to understand that that's an ad, and they're going to click it. And then the last one is going to be using some kind of graph or chart or something like that that makes it again look like something that's not an ad. And most people, when they see an ad like this, they won't really realize that it says sponsored on the top left side. Thank you for watching until the end. Here's the bonus I promised. If you tested out the first and the second strategy, so the big promise is a positive side and then the pain points is a negative side, and both sides didn't give you the results you want, you're launching this third wave of tests that's cloaked, so you can see if the problem is the amount of competition. A lot of the times there's going to be massive saturation, especially due to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and stuff like that that's coming up soon. Especially ad agencies like ours tend to fight through a lot of different scenarios where there's a lot of competition, and then guys like Sabri are really good at figuring out how to get your attention towards something that you generally didn't want to give them attention. So you need to understand how to utilize these waves of ads properly, because I'm gonna then teach you how to use the conclusions from these ads to develop later the remarketing ads and the dynamic product ads, and how to build your messaging and how to add the information to the website and email links and everything else. I'm also going to teach you then how to use all of this information in the development of your website, in the development of your offer, and in your email sequences as well. And it's really important for you to understand what makes your target move, act, and react. Thanks so much for watching the video. My name is Ivan Janku, and check out digitalrocketads.com if you want to learn more about what we do.